Hello, you are listening to an interview with Professor Nina Schneider, Jean Monnet Fellow at the Robert Schuman Center for Advanced Studies. In the years spent studying in Brazil, Nina has picked up a taste for bossa nova, whose lingering accords accompany this introduction and lead me into the first question for this interview. Nina, you are a recent, a one-year-old addition to the scientific committee. What's your take on this first year spent in the midst of your colleagues?
Well, first of all, I really like the projects that came in because I think they're not just projects with original ideas, but they're also visionary. They really also try to make the world a better place. And I also really enjoyed working with the committee because it was my first time. And I think we really discussed the project in depth. It was a really fair selection procedure. And of course, it's a very distinguished selection committee. So we really had a great time. Also in terms of interdisciplinarity, we really, I think it was a really good experience.
What would you say are the most salient features of your journey as a researcher?
I broadly work in the area of history of social rights and human rights, and my regional expertise lies in Latin America. So I've been working mainly on the Global South. I've also worked conceptually on the concept of the Global South. So this is sort of roughly my background. And more recently, I've been working on the issue of child labor. Prior to my position here at the EUI, I've been a research group leader at the Center for Global Cooperation Research. And that was also an interdisciplinary body working on similar topics: climate change, peace, migration, internet. So, also very original topics and very timely research concerns.
Are there any highlight moments that you feel have impacted you as a person and as a researcher?
I think living between the North and the South has deeply impacted my outlook on research. Also, even to the extent that I am always prepared to question my theories and also my methods totally. So this is really something that I always have in my mind. And actually, it's funny because when I thought about the question, it wasn't triggered by an academic discussion, but it was actually triggered when I was conducting fieldwork in Brazil. I taught in the slums. And then one day I brought a package of sweets for the children, and they threw the litter out of the window. And then I tried to come up with an argument to convince them that you don't throw the litter. I was really in pains because how do you explain, like these small slum children, that you don't throw the litter into the street, right? In the moment, I just tried to gather the litter, but it really stirred my thoughts. I really thought, all right, this is really, these are two totally different words, and you really have to be more creative to explain this.
Now, given this experience, tell us, what do you look for in a SNIS project?
It must be original, ideally, something that really surprises you, and also something that's really visionary, that really tries to make the world a better place. And then, of course, I personally also look for projects which move beyond the Eurocentric frameworks and also the usual, let's say, disciplinary blind spots, right? Because also often we are trained in a specific way and we don't really dare to leave the mainstream because we feel like we're getting punished. And I think this funding body really offers an opportunity to really try out something and to be audacious. So, and then of course it must be a solid project, but these are the basics, right?
Well, thank you, Nina, for that. This is very valuable, I'm sure, for our listeners. And what better rhythm than a samba to push us and inspire us towards bold research topics and methods. Thank you very much, Nina, and all the very best.